Hey folks, Rodney from Fat Off the Bone, and we are back to you from Elk Creek, Virginia. It's cold outside and it's windy, so we're doing some potato soup, some real comfort food to go along with the chicken salad that we made in the previous video. And while we're here, we're enjoying some nice wine. And this is from Monroe, North Carolina, a vineyard there called Hilton Vineyards. Not a sponsor of Fat Off the Bone, but we'd be glad to partner with you, Hilton Vineyards. But this is a Sweet Lucille raspberry chocolate. I've met the owner of Hilton Vineyards a few times. Just a super guy. And good wine, that's why we have it. And that's why we enjoy it. But for potato soup tonight, we're going to be using a yellow potato. I don't know if these are Yukon Golds. It didn't say that on the bag. Again, bought these down at Megalo Mart earlier today. And we have our water boiling in the back, and we'll be seasoning our water with salt. Remember, when you put salt in boiling water, you're seasoning for the volume of the water, not the food that you're putting in. So don't skimp on your salt when you're putting in. But we're getting that going, and we're going to get these potatoes cut up, and we'll get the rest of it to you in just a moment. So please stay with us. All right, folks, so our water's up to boil, and again, we salted, and we put the salt in there for the amount of water that we have boiling. I put maybe a tablespoon and a half of salt. So we've got our potatoes. We're just going to drop them in. Again, you don't want so much that they're not going to cook. And again, it's going to bring the temperature of the water down, but it'll recover pretty quick. All right, so we've got our potatoes boiling, and we're gonna, if you cover this pot, I'm a fan of covering the pot because I think it holds the heat in, but if you're not careful, it'll boil over, so I'm gonna leave it uncovered. And we'll bring that up to a boil. Those potatoes, depending on the size that you cut, these are fairly small. You're talking about 10-15 minutes, and until they're fork tender. And when they get fork tender, we'll come back and show you how to finish this potato soup. Hey folks, so our potatoes have boiled. They're done, they're fork tender. What I've done is I've gone ahead and poured them out through a colander, and we have our potatoes in here. Now, we're not making stewed potatoes, so we're making a potato soup. So one of the things I want to do is I'm going to take some butter. We don't use margarine, we use butter. And margarine's made nothing but a bunch of seed oils, and that'll kill you quicker than the butter will kill you. So we want to mix that in. We want to give that the creaminess. Now remember, we salted the water. I'm not going to put any pepper in. I'm going to let the end user, or the person I'm serving to, put the amount of pepper. Some people like pepper, some don't. But as you stir this butter in and it starts to melt, your potatoes are going to start to break apart. And that's what we want. We want some consistency of the potatoes, but we're making a soup, so remember that. So as that butter starts to melt in, and we will put this back on the heat, I'm going to put in a little bit of heavy cream. It'll say whipping cream. Not a lot, it just gives it the nice, again, we measure by the heart. And after you cook long enough, and I know when you're watching a cooking video, you need exact measurements. And folks, we're not baking, I'm telling you. You look at it, how does that look? You'll learn to get a feel for things. I wish I could give you an exact number, but I can't. Cook, got the rest of your life to cook. Keep doing it. And then we're going to put in some whole milk. This is a 2%, 1% mess. That's not what we're here to do. Again, I want to put into the consistency that I think is going to make soup. That was probably half a cup. And this is not, some people will leave a little bit of the water in from the cooking. You can do that, it's not a problem at all with doing that. And I'm gonna stir this in. Not quite thick enough. Maybe another, what was that, another half, 3/4 of a cup. So it's fairly loose in here. So maybe my camera person can come around and show show us this. And we're going to put it back on the heat, and it's going to thicken up as we put it on the heat. And because it's going to thicken up, I'm going to put just a tad more milk. Again, we're making that soup. And if we see that we need to add more soup to that, rather more milk to that, we can. Going to put it back on our heat as low as it'll go. All right. Now, I'm not going to cover all the way like this. We're really going to give it, I just like a little bit of that heat to come up from the boiling liquid and come back into the pot, and you're going to keep a real good eye on that. You don't want milk to boil over quick, milk to scorch quick. This is one of those recipes that you got to pay attention. Don't be drinking. Well, you drink a little bit. But don't drink where you can't pay attention. We don't advocate drinking here at Fat Off the Bone. I want to put that out as a public service announcement. But if you do, don't drink so much that you can't check this pot. So we're going to let that stay. One of the things that I've done here is, while we were away, I fried up some bacon. Good thick hickory smoked bacon. Gonna do that, and somewhere in my life, I got some chives. You're gonna get a baked potato, you put those chives on there. We found these. So, see what we're gonna do. And this will be to dress the top of our soup bowl with at the end. Cutco knives. I've never used a Cutco, but that is that's a nice feeling knife. It says made in the USA, and this one happens to be from Stephanie Reichart from Allen Tate Realty. It's right here. Not a sponsor, but Stephanie, if you'd like to sponsor Fat Off the Bone, we'd love to bring you on board. But anyway, so for all your I don't know where in the world she's located, but for all your real estate needs, call Stephanie Reichart. Anyway, so we got this bacon. I don't think she would mind me mentioning that here. Again, a little, I don't care how bad we messed up that tater soup. You put bacon and chives on it, it's gonna be good. All right, so we're gonna pay attention to that potato soup. We're not gonna let it boil over. And folks, the next time you see us, we'll have the finished product for you in the bowl. Hey folks, so we put it back on the stove. Again, we didn't want our milk to boil over, but that's the consistency you're looking for. And see how those potatoes, you've got some clumps in there. Clumps is probably the wrong word to use, but that's the consistency you're looking for. All right. All right, folks, so our potato soup is done. We've got it in the bowl, perfect consistency. Let's put a little bit of that bacon on there. And some chives. And we're gonna serve this tonight with that chicken salad that we made in a prior video. And I can tell you what, up here on this cold night in Virginia mountains, this right here is gonna make some miles happy. Y'all join us, y'all subscribe to the video, subscribe to our YouTube videos, or YouTube channel, but also make sure that you subscribe to our Facebook group, Fat Off the Bone. Good people sharing good recipes and some good stuff of what they're cooking tonight. So again, we're the Sunday before Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family, y'all get along. Talk politics and religion if you don't want to buy any Christmas gifts in a couple weeks. But anyway, y'all get together, have fun, and see you next time here at Fat Off the Bone.